Hello and welcome to Flippin' Through the Internet's #1 Mad Magazine news, review, and interview channel. Today, we're flipping live, and we're flipping through some EC stuff and some other things. I have some party crashers waiting in the wings, Noah Van Sciver and Kyle Bridgett. But before I bring them on and all that, I have to do all of my my talking stuff, such as reminding you to make sure you click subscribe and like and leave a comment. If you're watching right now, leave a comment because I'm going to say what's up to everybody in the chat. Unfortunately, though, because Kyle Bridgett is here, that means like 25% of my audience is missing. Anyway, if you haven't, if you've already subscribed to my channel, you might consider supporting me on Patreon, patreon.com/flippinthrough. And I want to say thank you to these people: Tom Richmond, David Strickler, Megan McInerney, Shane Buckley, Bobby Weigel, Cam Hayden, Ed Meisinger, Rob Wilson, Rod Mead Sperry, Andrew Goldfarb, Casey Ori, and Kyle Bridgett. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope I can keep on earning it. With that, look at this. You see this? The 6 sweater? You could buy that. Flippinthrough.com, then go to the store. Anyway, oh yeah, saying what's up. Hello, Demir. How are you? Oh, the good stuff. Yes, indeed, it is. And I'm very thankful that Noah and Kyle are here, because otherwise I would be left to my own devices and I'd be sounding very ignorant, and you guys would be like fucking belittling me in the comments. So, Shane Buckley, how are you? Good evening. I forgot. I got an unboxing I'm going to be doing too. Angel, how are you, Angel? Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. Harvey Esquire, Heidi ho to you as well. And Clown Nookie. The gang is all here. It's a gang. Yeah, let's bring them in. Anyway, in order of appearance this evening, the ones who showed up first get here. Hello, Noah Van Sciver. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. It's like,
let me just say I love Harvey Esquire because, my father's name is Harvey, and he was a lawyer, so Esquire. So that's what I always think of when I see Harvey Esquire on your show. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's my dad. But I don't think it's really my dad.
Did he go by Esquire, your dad?
Well, he'd be like, my full name. I remember as a kid, I was really impressed by this. Like, Harvey Martin Van Sciver Esquire. It was like seemed like super long, and I was like, that's amazing. You get all these words.
Yeah. I think like in England it means something, but over here like I could say Esquire. There's no like, official connotation to it.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. Anyway, how about this guy?
Oh, look what he's.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello. How are you? Did we sneak up on you?
How's it going, everybody?
Kyle, by the way, I wanted to tell you I subscribed to your YouTube channel today. I didn't.
Nice.
It's pretty awesome, man. All the Crumb stuff. That's great. I didn't because I saw.
That's all new.
Yeah, I saw you like in the Crumb board on Facebook, and I was like, oh shit, this guy has the balls to talk about Robert Crumb.
Oh my god! Like as I look at new characters to explore, it's just like, how am I going to talk about this without getting in some kind of trouble? Like it's some of it's tough, but. I think it'll be fine. I think people are grown-ups.
Yeah. Nobody cares anymore, right?
We hope. No, people certainly aren't getting more tightly wound as the days go by. If you're wondering what Noah's talking about, Kyle Bridgett's YouTube channel is in the comments, and this is as good a time as any to unveil. Wait, where did it go? Here we go. I was sent. Noah, if you get real professional, you start sending me thumbnails to drop in front of everybody. Canonically Crumb on Little Cozy Nostrils YouTube channel. What are you doing there?
Yeah.
What is it?
Well, it's the only show that explores the comics and characters of the Crummyverse. And I kind of go character by character and just sort of like look at their appearances and talk about it, maybe put some historical context in, and then kind of, draw a conclusion or something.
Now, when you say the Crummyverse, is it like the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Is there like, is Kevin Feige involved in the Crummyverse?
Well, as I define it, the Crumb canon includes, let's see if I can remember, the Big Yum Yum book, the Complete Crumb, the Weirdo Years, Hup, Mystic Funnies, and a bit of Dirty Laundry. So that's basically what I look at. I'll bring other stuff in because there's some stuff missing from the Complete Crumb, but I'll consider that extra canonical.
Yeah, you know what? One of my favorite stories that Crumb ever did that's not in the Complete Crumb is one called, I think it's called Walk in the Streets, which he had started and then his brother killed himself, so he stopped. It was about him and his brother.
That's in Zap, I think.
Yeah, but he never put it in the Complete Crumb collections that Fantagraphics put out because they stopped it.
I'm guessing that came out after, because
that's all I'm saying is that they stopped the series, like they stopped it at 17, and so they didn't collect all the Hup material.
Yeah. I wish they would put out a new volume. But as I understand it, the idea was to stop there, right? It was basically everything up to Hup. Yeah,
because what happened was Last Gasp. I'm sorry to derail this, by the way, but let me just. Last Gasp was supposed to put out a Hup collection, and for some reason, it got installed, and Ron Turner kept saying, "We're going to do the Hup collection," and they just never did it. So I don't know. And now it's like, I think maybe they would do like some French publisher would put it out, or like an art gallery, David Werner Books or something would put it out, but not like an actual comics publisher because I think they're mostly pretty freaked out to do any Crumb stuff right now.
Yeah. I think it all probably sells. Like if you go look for any Crumb stuff online to buy, if it's used, it's very expensive. Yeah, there's not a lot of it, and there's not even that much new stuff, and even that's usually expensive. So
there's a new
that's interesting.
There's a new zine that just came out for an exhibit that he has in Paris, and the zine itself I think is like $50 or something. And it's like 40 pages long.
That's the exhibition with Eileen and Sophie.
Yeah, and it's about like you do like a lot of COVID material and stuff. I bought a copy of it, so I'm waiting to get it in the mail.
Oh, nice.
Sorry, I don't want to make this all about Crumb, but like I would love to come on your channel. I could talk about Crumb forever.
Sure, yeah. You should come on, talk about Crumb. I was actually planning on at some point saying if anybody has anything interesting to say, or especially if they if they don't like Crumb and they can talk about that in an interesting way, I'd like to talk to those people as well.
One of the most essential. I have like a list of graphic novels that I think are essential for like any person's library. And I did it. I have a book coming out from Fantagraphics in the summer called As a Cartoonist. And at the end of the book, it's just like 5 pages of like a list of like every graphic novel that I think everybody should have on their shelf. And for Crumb, because I want to do every artist, I only want to pick one. And for Crumb, it's the Weirdo Years. I think that's
a pretty good collection.
You're going to have any Crumb book. You just want one. That's the one you should get because that has like his best material in it, I think.
I would say it's a toss-up between that and the complete. It's not a graphic novel though, but the Complete Crumb Volume 6 is pretty good. Like that's kind of like his peak of his 60s stuff, I think, before like he gets kind of weird and before he starts getting into like drawing better and stuff like that.
I like that stuff, man. But it's like the stuff he was doing in the 80s is more story driven, so it holds my attention more. The LSD stuff is fun to look at. But after a while, there's not enough like protein in there. Like I want story. So that's why the Weirdo Years wins.
Well, that's what I thought. And then I started doing this show and like looking into it. And it's like, there's so much profound weirdness that I think maybe wasn't intentional in that early stuff. It's very interesting to kind of plumb.
One more thing.
I used to think Mystic Funnies was the best, but
that's some of the first Crumb stuff I ever got. But you got to remember that his oh man, all right, after this, let's stop. But, you listed like all the things like of the Crumb, but one thing that is missing is his sketchbooks, which are like amazing. Like you just dive into those, it'll take you like forever to get through them all.
And there's a lot of comics in them too.
Yeah.
I just don't have any of those really.
Oh, you can get them. Dude, you can get them so cheap on like because Toshin did I think 6 volumes.
Yeah,
it goes all the way.
In Canada though, it's expensive. Everything's expensive. Even if it's cheap, it's expensive.
Yeah, but you're selling so many comics that you could pay for them pretty easily, right? Aren't you getting a lot?
That's what it is.
Trust me, I understand. I definitely.
selling so many
Well-
drugs I could I could pay for them maybe.
I get white
Just kidding.
knuckles like times. I'm like, I bought that Crazy Cat book on top the Toshin sale. Everybody's like, you gotta buy it. It's like
Okay.
$200. It was $50, and I was like, oh, I already have a bunch of Crazy Cat, but I had like the FOMO thing going on. So like I
Yeah.
white knuckle bought that book, and then as soon as it arrived at my house, I felt ashamed.
Well,
Wow.
my next Crumb purchases will be sketchbooks, but I still consider those non-canonical. You know, like that's the canonical stuff is the comics that were printed up to Mystic Funnies.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I have a question then. This is because I pulled out my only Robert Crumb book that I have.
Yeah.
Just for this. Here's my wait. Oh no, that button doesn't work. Shit. Here, this is what I do.
Yeah, great one.
This is a good one. Wait,
Oh, yeah.
why doesn't it go big? Oh, here we go. Boom. That's right. So, like, does this fall into canonically Crumb? I think this is a reprint.
This is like- Yeah, this is in canonically, or this is in complete Crumb. I don't know what volume. Probably like, what's the year on it?
On the cover, it says 79.
So probably
I think
like
this is probably like volume 13 or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah. But this is like, oh, this isn't family entertainment. What the hell? This is
That's
gonna
great
get
stuff.
yeah. I mean, it is
This
like
is kind of just before the weirdo years.
Yeah.
all right.
So I think he hates this work because he was really depressed around that time period. They were filming a BBC documentary about him, and he wanted to kill himself.
There's been like a
But I was
couple.
under the impression that he like actually did a lot of like the writing and stuff on that, you know, because he does all these weird. That's like the Confessions of R. Crumb.
Yeah,
I
he
should
did. He
have
wrote
that.
that.
Here right now, I got it from interlibrary loan from somewhere in the States.
It's great, and yeah, so he wrote that BBC special, but it depressed him so badly, and I think maybe around that time he had like trouble with IRS, or maybe he had just gotten out of that. I can't remember.
I think he married Eileen, I think in '79.
Yeah, it was dark. It was a dark period though. Like the BBC thing, it was like an invasion of his privacy, and he didn't like to be super public. It apparently really
There was
depressed him.
also is that documentary the one that was it just art? Because I remember seeing a documentary about him when I was
It's a
a
different
kid.
one. It's not the
Okay.
You're probably thinking about the Terry Zwigoff. I used to always
Okay.
say Zwigoff, but apparently it's Zwigoff.
Harvey, the R. Crumb coffee table book is just like a collection. So it's in the same category as the complete Crumb stuff, really.
Yeah, I kind of had to like pick a section, right? That was like, this is what I'm going to focus on. This is like all the comics, and like obviously it's silly to like even say this is like the canon or whatever, but
Yeah.
you know, there's so many collections like, you know, Blues in America and the Sweeter Side of Crumb and the Coffee Table book and, you know, Fritz the Cat, Book of Mr. Natural. There's so many that kind of like overlap.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it's like sketchbook stuff, you know, so I wanted to sort of treat that separately.
Yeah.
Well, and it seems like obviously something that you could, once you run out of material, expand the canon and say like, you know, like once you go through all of the stuff that you've described, like you can be like, all right, now it's Fritz the Cat time. So
I'm not too worried about running out of material. So I actually have the complete Crumb right here, plus Weirdo Years.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
the hardcover versions?
I got a couple hardcover. I got them wherever I could. I think it took me like 13 years to get like all of them. You know,
Yeah.
Smokes.
That was a big thing. Like when I first started cartooning, hunting those down was like a big thing for me, a big task.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, and I could not find a cheap version of Volume 2. And a friend of mine was on like a tour, and he stopped into a comic shop and he found a cheap copy for me, and it was like the best thing. It was like the final one I needed. Wow. And it's like, you know, that's like the high school stuff, like the pencil.
Yeah, and that's probably one of the easiest ones to get right now.
Yeah.
Looking around, it's so cheap. I think it was reprinted fairly recently.
Yeah.
Like more than, you know, like I think number 8 is like so expensive. Like I paid a fair bit for mine.
Mm-hmm.
But like everyone was asking like $400 or something for it, which is insane.
Wow. Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
So
Yeah. And then you also have the Chrome Dream Diaries too. That's another. All right, let's stop.
That's very recent. Yeah. But again, I counted that as like non-canonical. I don't have that yet, but
yeah,
I have looked at it.
Let's talk about DC.
Well, before we get to that, I have other stuff. I got other stuff I got to cover. First off, one, if you want to, if you're impressed with Noah Van Sciver's knowledge on Robert Crumb, you should probably give him a follow on YouTube too. I'm posting in the comments a link to your page, Noah, and it's also in the video description. But you do some pretty awesome interviews, and also like a few live streams, like drawing streams.
Yeah. And everybody pick up. This is my new collection here from Fantagraphics Books, the complete works of Fonte Bukowski.
Yeah. Hey, I have a question.
Full color.
How does that differ from? Because I bought that the complete works. It looks like the America's Library one.
Yeah. It's the same. It's the same book. It just has a little bit of extra material in the back.
Listen, that's all I needed to hear. I can justify it now.
Yeah.
So,
he's giving it the Crumb treatment.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right.
That's the version to get though. Would you say that's the like? I mean, obviously you're saying that because you're trying to move it right now. But I mean, that's the version that someone should find.
Yeah, because it's paperbacks. I always prefer paperbacks to hardcovers.
Oh, really?
Too. Oh yeah, I do. Absolutely. If I'm reading and stuff, yeah, I don't like hardcover books. So I don't know. It's like easier to handle for me. Like I'm less precious with it.
That's a selling point for me is soft cover.
Yeah,
really,
for sure.
Huh? I just like how I like how hardcovers look on my bookshelf.
There you go.
What you got there, Patrick?
What do I got a new rifle. No, all right. So I got this from Shane Buckley. Shane Buckley sent me this. There's my address.
Is it the mad straight jacket?
Oh, what if it was? No, it is.
I would feel bad for ruining it now. But there's no way it's that.
No, I do. I know what it is. So Shane Buckley was on. Wait, are you any relation to William F. Buckley?
Me?
No, Shane Why?
Well, people have to have the same last name to be related.
Good point. Good point. Are you related to Rosario Dawson?
I'm not peeing. I'm pouring coffee. Sorry.
Anyway, so he was on the show. He was my first Collector's Corner video, where I just talked to people about their collections, their mad collections, top 5 things in their mad collection. And hold on, this thing is like I can't do 2 things at once. I could think. So he says, "Hey, I make rugs." And so he showed me some photos. I think that I may have shown a photo on the live stream, but it's like that, like the hook and latch thing, right? Where you have like a grid and it's almost like pixel art before there were pixels. So anyway, he designed one for me, and I forget, we talked about what it was. He asked me like, "Hey, do you want a rug of," I think it's Alfred E. Newman, but I forget exactly. Hold on, Jesus Christ.
So is that like a loom? Is that what
no,
you call
it's
that?
like Christ. There's so much tape. It's not like cross stitch. It's like I don't know. We'll examine it. Hold on. Jesus. You talk about Crumb while I figure this out.
I'm waiting for Shane in the comments to give the answers that we're looking for.
Yeah, where is Shane? Is he not?
I'm not on the stream here, but maybe I'll go in.
Oh wait, here we go. Very distantly, I've been told. Oh, that's the what do you call it?
William F. Buckley.
William F. Buckley, yeah. First and only so far. First and only what?
Only rug, I think. That's
First,
the only
no,
one.
I think he meant relation.
Oh, okay. Be careful with that knife. Yeah, it's really sharp too. I put a freshie in there. Whoops. All right,
hey, Kyle, you know what I have? I just got in the mail from the publisher.
What's that?
I want to know if you actually like these. I got every volume of the complete Little Abner.
I have that one. Yeah.
You? I have all of them.
You have all of that's cool.
I got
Is
everyone.
is the Fearless Fosdick stuff in there?
Yeah, I traded.
Nice.
So Dennis Kitchen published them, and I traded some artwork to Dennis Kitchen for him to send me every volume of Little Abner. So now I have them. It's a lot of Little Abner to have.
Is it like the dailies? I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Hold that up again.
It's all the dailies. So here's another. Let me find a cooler looking one.
That's the only one that I've. No, I think I've read 2. I took one out of the library one time. They're so good.
Look at this one.
That's cool.
Nice.
It's like the show.
So it's all the dailies, and I think the plan was he was going to do the Sundays as separate volumes, but I think he never got to it.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
But I discovered over last summer that because I'd never read them before, I discovered that they were actually really good.
Yeah, they are really, really good. I had that volume, but I also had the 2 Fearless Fosdick collections, and I think they put
good.
out as well.
Yeah, they did. The whole story where it has like holes punched through the cover and stuff. Great.
I think one of mine has the holes, and I think one is like a second printing because there's 2 books.
Yeah, there's 2 books. Yeah.
I think there's the second printing. Maybe they didn't cut out the holes.
Oh, okay.
Because one of mine has holes and the other one doesn't. But
those are
those
great.
were very influential to me. I ended up doing a comic strip called Dick Dog Detective for a while. That like, between that and like, I was reading Dick Tracy too.
Say that title again.
Oh yeah.
Dick Dog Detective.
This is a good entryway into Little Abner. Like, by the way, this old collection.
I've seen that around, yeah.
It's just that stuff. Yeah, you'd find this stuff at like used bookstores, but it has that coloring in it because this book is from I don't know the 70s or something, maybe early 80s, and the color, color, it's like really interesting to look at. It has this like weird vibrancy. The old color. I don't know how they did it, but
they were printed in color originally.
Yeah, but don't you think they would have to recolor them to publish them in a book?
Yeah, probably.
No.
Here, let me. Yeah, that's. What do you call it? I've been buying, or I've been trying to. They made like I think only 1 or 2 volumes, and this is almost the polar opposite of what Little Abner is. But I'm all about that Mandrake the Magician. Oh, and yeah. They did nice daily publications of those too. I don't think they did many though. All right, so I just got this thing out of here.
Oh, I can already see what it is.
Yeah.
That looks pretty amazing, man.
I didn't think it was going to be this big. Holy smokes, man. Oh, wait. I guess I'm not done opening it. There's more tape. I got...
So when are you going to look at the Mandrake Mad parody from whatever issue it was from, like in the first 20?
Well, I want to buy that. I would want to buy it before I look at it. That's why I'm like, when I flip through,
you have it right behind you.
No, but I want the comic issue. Yeah, I got it.
Oh, the issue. Yeah.
Because that'll be like a special one for me.
I've never read that comic before, Mandrake the Magician. It's pretty good. I should look at it.
Well, it's problematic.
Well, yeah. All that stuff. I'm showing you Little Abner. It's like the guy who. Al Cap is like one of the most problematic people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
he's he was really conservative too, right? Like,
but
newspaper comic artists at the time were very conservative.
And he went after all the commies. It was great,
Well, there were a lot of conservative cartoonists, man. Harold Gray, Chester Gould, Charles Schultz. Right. These were all like conservative guys.
All right, I think I got to stand up. Hold on.
Mort Drucker.
No, but Mandrake, he has a manservant.
Named Lothar.
Who is not the most racially sensitive depiction of a character.
Yeah.
Well, I mean...
it's all like that,
Yeah.
Like Gasoline Alley,
A loincloth.
You got to grapple with it,
Yeah, Gasoline Alley is like one of the greatest comic strips ever, and they have a terrible Rachel.
Wait, it's upside down. God damn it. Shane, you made it upside down.
First impressions. I can't tell what is it, a pyramid?
Oh, look at this.
Spy versus Spy. Oh, nice.
Look at that. Wait, I can't really look at it. How does it look?
That's awesome.
You're gonna walk on that?
Yeah, I'm gonna wipe my feet on it. No, okay, so you hang it. You gotta All right.
Oh,
He's gonna send me care instructions. But anyway, it's like you hang it. There's like this cord up here that I can hold it, but it's like a matrix, right? So he was like, "Don't let your kids near it." And it's like, I don't know how that's gonna work out, but yeah, I'll hang it up. I don't know.
Amazing.
I gotta find a good spot for it though.
what will your kids do to it? Will they get sucked in?
Well, because they want, like, I want to do it now. They like want to run their hands through it, their fingers, because it's like each little thread is like an inch long. So it's like you.
What
It's
are you
like
gonna put this thing in Mylar with a big board on it?
Yeah, I think I need
Hang it
to.
on your wall.
Man.
Touch it.
Well, no, he says
Touch
it'll
it.
fuck it up.
No, it's a tactile experience.
No,
It's
I
part of the
know, but-
experience.
Yeah. But it's like, yeah, look at that. No, I'm not going to touch it. No. You
No, you gotta use your
you almost
things, man.
convinced me. Here, I gotta walk around. I gotta go hang this on something.
You're gonna do this on the show.
That's why he has us here.
The host just walked off on his own show. Harvey says Mort Trucker. I didn't mean Mort Drucker. I meant Mort Walker, Beetle Bailey. That's what I meant.
Oh yeah. You ever read any Dope and Dan?
Oh, that's not. Who is that? That's is that Bobby London?
I think it is. Yeah, maybe. Wait, I'm not 100%
Those
sure.
Air Pirates guys. I can't remember who did it.
I mix up my underground guys, but
Yeah.
I think you might be right.
All right. Hey, Shane, thank you so much for that. This thing is awesome. Thank you. This is like, I got to figure out, it's not going to be able to fit in the background, which is a shame. I didn't expect it to be that big, but thank you. This is, what a treat that is. And yeah, it was a really complex box. So, God damn, everybody's ganging up on me.
Yeah, you should have practiced first, really.
Yeah, I should have like done an analysis of it. Anyway, hey, look at this. Look at this I got. Is this for sale? Or is this worth showing and pimping this?
Oh, yeah. I think they're selling it on the Kilgore website.
Yeah, this is the complete. No, not the complete. I don't know.
No. Yeah, it's just stuff from the first 5 issues of Blammo. So Blammo is my comic book series. It's like a one-man anthology comic that started in 2007. So the material in that book is really old, and so I wasn't ever going to reprint those issues, but we just decided to just publish them all as like a small book.
Because I mean, like the individual issues are impossible to find.
Yeah, nobody can. Yeah, they're gone. It's because everybody threw them away. You know, like when you're first starting out as a cartoonist and you're like giving your work to people, they don't keep it. So then, like, if you just keep going, and enough people, if you make a name for yourself, enough people want those early issues, and they can't get them anymore because they didn't survive. So and they're not worth reprinting. So that was the best option, was just to do that book.
Yeah. And you still have all of the originals?
Nope.
Or no?
I had to scan in the actual comics to make that book because the originals are just gone with the wind. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, is that? Oh, well, yeah. That's really cool then. And this was Kilgore did a Kickstarter about a year ago. Mm-hmm. I forgot about it, and I was supposed to fill out a form, and I was like kind of bitching to myself, like, where the hell is this book? And then I checked my email and found out I was the fuck up. And so I finally got it 6 months later. But yeah. So should we get into some EC stuff?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So I got two things. I got obviously I got this. I got this bad boy, the Russ Cochran.
You know, honestly, I really want to see something out of there because I have something that looks very similar to that right here.
Yeah.
In the Mad Archives, but it's a different printing.
Yeah.
So I want to see. I am curious.
Is it issue 17?
Which one? Is that the one I suggested before? That's the turning point.
Oh, yeah. So I figured that was the one that you would like to see. Well, the other thing is, I just got this. And this is like,
man.
So you were talking about when you made that purchase, Noah, and then you got it, and you were like, fuck. that happened to me, but in real time at the comic book shop, because this came in. And but anyway, this has the one with Impact, with the
Awesome.
Master Race too.
Yeah.
I was a little bummed out though because this is all in color, and
It
I
is?
assumed this is in color. This
Oh.
one isn't. This is just the inks.
Yeah.
There's no
really?
color. Yeah.
Because a lot of this, like that, the one you just mentioned,
Master Race.
the Master Race. That's it.
Yeah.
That is in another collection that got put out fairly recently.
Yeah, with
By
Bernard
Fantagraphics.
Krigstein, the
Yeah.
Fantagraphics put it out, and I bought that, and that's all black lines.
Yeah,
And so I thought I saw this, and I was like, oh, I wanted to see it in color.
I would assume color too. Yeah,
No,
because that's
So
part
I-
of the EC.
This is a good collection here that's in color, but it's the recolored color, so you kind of have to deal with that. You know,
Yeah.
where it's like
I don't love that
color.
color.
You know, like
I think I would prefer black and white.
yeah. I don't mind the black and white really. I like those Fantagraphics collections because as a cartoonist, you know, you like to look at the line work, without it being buried too much in the old coloring. You know?
Well, with Bernard Krigstein, like his lines are like, he has so much more detail in like the faces and the expressions, and his lines are really, really cool to see. And like as a non-artist, it's pretty entertaining. But where should we start? Should we start here in Mad? I don't know.
Or
Maybe we don't
we
even.
start
Get
on, we should start on MD in the middle of the. That's all. Like, isn't that like all like?
What is
doctors?
MD? I'm not even familiar with that EC title.
I think that was like a new direction thing they did after they got busted. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is like the post comics code.
I think so. Yeah.
Well,
You're
no,
just like-
because
Oh.
well,
Psychoanalyst or whatever that, or psychoanalysis. You know, they did all this weird.
But Impact maybe I should put this one in. The thing is that Impact has that moniker of like a new direction,
Yeah.
but it's like, you know, that's a pretty intense story. But I guess it's not like you know, spousal murder stories, so
right.
maybe that's it. But here, yeah, we can go into MD.
Yeah, I just want to see. We don't have to spend too much time on this volume, but I'm kind of interested. I've never seen those comics before.
Yeah. We got all the time in the world.
You forget. It's easy to forget how much EC stuff there is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like they put out so many comics.
Yeah, definitely.
So if this is so I didn't. Here, can I zoom
Comics
out?
Code. Yeah. So they were. This is
Boo! Boo!
they were really like throwing shit at the wall, like hoping something would stick.
Yeah.
Hoping they could stay in business.
Yeah.
Hey, does
like,
does this
Comics Code
camera look
targeted
super
them.
blurry?
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
It looks
a
like
little bit.
shit. Here, I'm gonna start
maybe
closing
that was
tabs.
me.
Huh?
I thought maybe that was on my end.
No, I think it's fine. So I'm gonna close like all my internet tabs.
It's actually looking better already.
Yeah. It looks great.
There we go. Yeah, it's all that freaking RAM that Google Chrome takes up. So yeah, Comics Code Authority, which, as you were saying, Kyle, it's like they sort of targeted EC on that.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, all right, let's see.
Yeah, I like when I think of the Comics Code Authority coming in, I think of like basically superhero comics being on the ropes and being like, how can we get rid of these much better comics that, you know, our competition are doing?
Yeah.
Look at that. That's great.
Who is this?
Oh.
Whose art is this?
It's like Ghastly. I don't know.
The Fight
It
for
was
Life.
this bit in there in the mouth.
Jeez.
Yeah, I
This
mean,
looks, this looks really good in black and white. I take back whatever I said about, you know, I would have expected to be in color, but this looks great in black and white.
Yeah. So the challenge with being an EC artist was they would assign you a story. They would give you the boards, the Bristol boards, and they would already be lettered. So it was up to the artist to do the drawings around the lettering that was on the page already. You know, could make it real stiff, I think. So that's sort of like an illustrated text or something instead of a comic.
But yeah, I mean, it's like the text is so dense. It's like, how else would you do it?
And also, the text is so dense, and it's like amazing that parents would have a problem with their kids reading it, because that's like a lot. Like a modern child, like hand them that comic and be like, "Here, read this." They'd be like, "What? Like, I'm not reading this shit." But back then,
I mean, sometimes I'm like, reading like EC
exactly.
stuff, you know.
The kids in like the 50s or whatever were like all about it. Like they wanted to read that stuff. Like I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, it was an investment, 10 cents, man.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. That's right.
There was weird trading networks of
Mhm.
kids, like how they. I don't know if you've read Pfeiffer's. I think it's Pfeiffer's book, The Great Comic Book Heroes.
No, I haven't read that.
It's like an essay. It was written, I think, in the 70s, and it had all these reprints, but it was reissued with I don't know who published it. Robert Sikoriak did the cover.
Yeah, I think Fantagraphics reissued it.
Yeah, but it's just like it's an essay about like his experiences growing up reading comics.
Mm-hmm.
And I always found that interesting, like the kids, how they would trade comics and different comics would be worth more. You know, different kids have different taste. Like
Yeah.
my grandfather is a bit of a pervert. He was into like Sheena, Queen of the Jungle.
All right.
Yeah.
So wait, one thing I want to go back to, which is like what you were saying, like the fact that they're lettered, kind of makes it look stiff. But
Mhm.
you know, like one nice thing about that is that you at least get a full composition,
Right.
you know, versus like, I don't know, you kind of sometimes with like poorly made comics now, you'll get, or like throughout history, whatever, you know, it's like the artist makes something beautiful and then it's like the letterer comes in and it's just sort of like either plopping things around it or like covering up things that would be visually kind of cool to see.
Well, one more thing about the lettering though is that, you know, what makes Bernie Krigstein's EC comics so special is that he would take those boards and cut them up. He would cut them up and rearrange them, and you know sometimes they would assign him like a 5-page story or something, and then he would cut it up and rearrange it so that the pacing was different, and then it would fill out. You know, like all of a sudden it's like a 5-page story is a 7-page story or a 10-page story or something, because he was like a real artist. You know, after he left comics, he became like a pretty well known like painter or something. So he didn't listen to the way they had looked. Like he didn't, you know, accept how they had laid out the comics. He did it his own way.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if he did that to a Kurtzman draft though?
Oh God, I'm sure he did. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I would think like, you know, it seems like Kurtzman would be in tears over something like that, you know?
Yeah, he was
maybe not a script, but like one of his layouts or something.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mess with a Kurtzman layout. I think he definitely knew how to do that.
Well, here, check this out. Oh wait, look at I should do this so that people can see your name.
Oh, cool.
Okay, look at diagnosis: tracheal obstruction, prognosis: emergency tracheotomy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, look at this little boy. This is sad. Oh, holy shit! Look at this. Listen, guys, you're new fathers. You shouldn't see this, but you do actually need to know how to perform an emergency tracheotomy, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I had to give my daughter the Heimlich once. Like legit.
Really?
Yeah. She was wolfing down some watermelon, and we were eating on the deck, and she started like she couldn't even make a noise. I went,
"Oh shit."
Yeah, it was this most scared I've ever been.
Jeez.
Yeah. But anyway,
we took like a quick like course on it about a year or two ago, but I think we need a refresher.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is like my worst nightmare. You know, because I'm home alone with Remy all day, my son, and you know, he coughs or whatever. I'm like, "You all right? You're right." Immediately pick him up.
Well, the thing is, if they're coughing or making any noise, and their air passages are not blocked, so that's what I always tell myself.
Yeah.
I remember when my wife was pregnant, and I was first starting to take the idea of being a father seriously. I was like, okay, I better read something. I'll go online and see what you know dads are saying and what I need to be prepared. The very first thing that came up was like, okay, the first thing you need to know how to do is how to deliver this baby in the back of a taxi if that comes up. And it was going through the steps, and I was just like panicking, like, how is this the first thing they're telling me?
Oh my God.
That isn't top of the list. I think what you named was top of the list. If they're making noise, they're breathing, and that's good.
That's really assured me quite a few times.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Krigstein did do it with Kurtzman, and Harvey got pissed.
That's what I would have thought.
Oh man, I gotta hear that story. That's amazing. I love that kind of stuff.
Zoom in on one of those headers. read the setup to the story. All right, the next one I get to, I'll zoom in on it. Well, here's R. Crandall. He signed his name. Okay, I'm going to read this. It's going to be a dramatic reenactment. We got the diagnosis, acute appendicitis, prognosis, emergency appendectomy. This is like educational. Your name is William T. Anders. You're a doctor, an MD. You get home just before midnight. It's been a long day. Your evening calls have taken longer than they normally do, and you still have that appointment at the hospital. But the man who is waiting for you when you step from your car is not concerned with all that. His face gleams pale and tense in the darkness as he runs toward you, and his words are the clarion call that the MD hears so often, the plea which your Hippocratic oath binds you never to ignore. Doctor, you've got to come quickly. We need you. That's a pretty nice setup.
Yeah.
The clarion call.
All I can think about is like Dr. Hibbert with his trusty pocket knife.
Oh my gosh. Look at the emergency appendectomy. I wonder, like, pages like this, I wonder what those looked like all colored in.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it would probably just be like a wash or something.
Gaudy, probably.
A lot of blood.
Just coated in blood. But here, you know what? I'm going to, I got to make these things disappear though, because they're distracting to me. I'm sorry. Oh, thank you. That was for my rendition of the introduction. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I really enjoy reading out loud. What is this? Oh, these are just like some essays? Yeah, I guess so. What an odd layout for an essay, though, like with this big empty spaces.
Huh.
I guess if they needed to take up 3 pages, that's what you do.
Riveting.
This this R. Crandall guy is doing most of this.
Is it Reed Crandall? Is that the name? Reed?
Crandall, yeah.
Reed Crandall. Yeah.
Oh, look at all that! Look at all the text.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
I have to say,
Is
as
it
a
like
modern
Star Trek where they explain something in medical terms and then the next person's like popping a balloon?
Yeah.
Here we go. Just a couple of hours for your exercises, Mrs. Struthers. Your husband and other sons need your time too. Let Herbie be a normal member of the family as possible. After all, he's got to grow up to live and work with other people. What are you talking about?
See, now you would break all that dialogue up into like 4 pages, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, this is bang for your buck, though. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
It is. Who is this? This isn't R. Crandall again, is it? This looks like very different. The Case for Books.
Looks more like a horror artist.
Yeah.
Oh, Ingalls.
Graham Ingalls.
Graham
Oh,
Ingalls.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do we say? Should we pass on from MD?
Yeah, MD is kind of a dud.
I prefer the ones where they like valorize crime and like teach you how to do crimes, and there's like vampires and werewolves and people getting divorced.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw this.
Those
away.
are my kinds of comics.
I like the sci-fi ones. They're so good, you know, where it's like some Wallywood drawing of a dinosaur like on another planet or something, like a spaceman aiming a gun at it. You're like, holy
well, that's
shit.
just great, guys, because I don't have any of those books. All right,
God.
all I got is Impact and Valor. All right.
I've read a bit of Impact. I've never read any Valor or
either.
any MD.
But what about? Oh, okay. I guess they do have the. Oh, you guys can't see my screen. There we go. Yeah, I thought at first maybe Impact didn't have the code, but it do. So, well, here, I mean, this is like kind of, what is this, like Two-Fisted Tales for kids then, right?
I guess I don't know anything about Impact. Is it like war stories or?
The other side is not Comics Code, right? That one's Comics Code. Was the
well,
other side
yeah,
not?
the one with
Yeah.
Master Race isn't Comics Code, but then the following was. But it has that New Direction branding you were talking about, which, yeah.
I think some of these were released in those. There was like these like trade paperback versions that came out in the sort of like around 2010 or whatever, and there'd be like 3 books in them or 4 books in them, and they did like Two-Fisted Tales and was it Weird Tales?
I've got some of those.
Yeah. So I think there was some Impact in one of those that I might have somewhere.
Yeah. Here's the Diamond Pendant, based on a story by Guy de Maupassant. I'm assuming you just say it like that because it's French.
Guy de Maupassant.
Guy. Oh yeah, Guy.
Yeah, it'd be Guy de Maupassant.
Right.
Or something like that. I mean, if you're French, you would laugh at how bad I said that. If you don't have any French at all, you might be mildly impressed.
Did you guys ever see that that show MXC? It was on like TNT or something, but they took this Japanese show and which was like an obstacle course, and then just
Takashi's Castle.
Yeah, it was Takashi's Castle, and then like American writers like overdubbed it. Yeah, and there's the character named I don't know why it just still kills me. His name is Guy Ledouche. He was like, Guy Ledouche here. Here we have the expectant mothers battling against the, coal miners. That show is the best. I think
that was a fun show. This is Ingalls again?
Is it? It looks kind of like him.
You're getting blurry again, but...
Ah, Christ. You know what it is? Somebody upstairs is streaming something.
Disrespectful.
It is. It's very disrespectful. I'm sorry.
What happened to Father Knows Best?
I don't know. What if I... Hold on. What if I do this? What if I turn off my camera? Boom.
No.
Nobody cares to see me. Does that help? We'll give it a second. God, that pisses me off.
I mean, it helps, but it's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think we just had to deal with it. Wait, look at some people are saying some things. Sent you a bunch of EC reprints of the horror and sci-fi titles. Are they easy to get to? No. No, they're not. But yeah, you did. I have some of those reprints, and they're awesome. Looks like a soap opera comic book. Oh, the MD one, yeah. Oh, Impact was New Direction, milder stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but it's funny because like you look at some of it and it doesn't, like, even if you look at modern comics, like modern mainstream comics, I should say, it does not seem very mild by today's standards. Or am I
mean, what kind of comics are you talking about, though?
Well, I'm talking about mainstream comics, like the fare that you get from like DC or Marvel or even like Image Comics.
Oh,
It's not. I mean, like, I guess like Spawn gets pretty gruesome sometimes, but
not like Red Room, though.
Yeah, no, not Red Room.
Have you guys read that Red Room?
Yeah,
I've read a bit of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I
pretty
grounded
good
myself.
gruesome violence.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not old enough to read this. It's like I need an adult.
If you're into like gore, like a lot of gore, it's for you. I mean, I'm not necessarily, but
yeah, I've never seen any of this stuff that's inside of it. I've only seen the covers on social media.
Yeah,
I would have loved it when I was like 14.
Mm-hmm. What's interesting about it is like everything you're saying about the gore is true, absolutely. But what I was not expecting is the stories to be so compelling with that subject matter, especially like the first issue was especially I don't know, it just took me by surprise. Like the characters, even like the the horrible monster character. It was like he was partly sympathetic in that story. A very small sliver of sympathy could be garnered for him, but yeah, I think that what's his face? What's his name? Ed Piskor?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a really good job writing that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say that that's all that it is like gore, but like, I mean, that is like a key component, I think.
Yeah.
You know, he's trying to like, he's going for like the kind of like sublime, like extreme violence, you know, that like, you know, there's like agony and ecstasy, you know, in it, and it's
fucked up.
it's a lot to take
if
you're not sort of like prepared for that.
Yeah, I might be underplaying it in my description.
So here we go. Here's the most famous, or one of the most famous EC stories.
Yeah, which I mean, like Christ Almighty, this pisses me off so much. Hold on, I gotta text somebody.
You know, text your family upstairs.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be like, "Are you streaming something?"
They're watching The Tinder Swindler.
What is that?
It's a show on Netflix that everybody's watching right now.
The Tinder Swindler. I like that title.
I haven't heard of this.
Okay, it's about a guy who he goes on all these Tinder dates with women and basically gets them to to use like Amex cards to give him like thousands of dollars and just totally rips them off.
Yeah. Is this like a fictional thing, or is this
No, it's a documentary on YouTube that just came out. It's pretty amazing.
Interesting.
That's probably what's being watched right now is the Tinder Swindler. Yeah. Okay, hold on. The Master Race. Somebody who knows something, start talking about the Master Race. That's one of you guys, by the way.
I don't have a lot to say about it. I mean, I read it years ago. I haven't read it in a long time.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of. I mean, it's just a beautiful comic, and you can see that Dan Clowes took a lot of. If you look at early Dan Clowes' work, like the Lloyd Llewellyn stuff, you can tell that this was like his favorite artist. He was taking a lot. Yeah,
there's a guy sitting on like the bus or wherever it is, a train at the top of the next page there. Looks very Dan Clowes.
Yeah, and just like the
the crowd scene too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like, for people who are unfamiliar, it's the story of a Holocaust survivor and somebody who is a guard at the camp, or like a Nazi at the camp. And like, you're watching this and you're watching the memories of it and like this guy's reactions. And, I guess the spoiler isn't the spoiler. Like, the most menacing person in the comic was the guy who was the survivor of it. He was the victim of it. And the guy who looks just sort of like your normal American was the perpetrator of the atrocities.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know. He does this cool thing where like the shadows on the faces, I mean, you can see it. He does it all over the place. But like, he does this sort of like these absolute black shadows. And it just looks so cool. I don't know.
Really weights the drawing on the black.
And
it's one of Art Spiegelman's favorite comics.
Oh yeah,
that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, no, he would teach it in his class.
Yeah, Art Spiegel. You did an interview with him.
I did. Yeah, I did a 2-part interview with him, and I thought, well, with all the hubbub about Mouse going on, I'm going to get some views.
Yeah.
Nobody watched my videos. Because I made a point when I was like, I'm going to talk to Art. I was like, I'm not going to ask him about Mouse at all, because man, he's been answering questions about Mouse forever.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about like all the weird shit from his early career, and that's what I focused on. So that was dumb, because now everybody wants to hear about Mouse, and I don't. There's nothing.
He has
Art,
one about like the history of comedy or something. Like he did one about the history of comedy in some underground book, and it's like it's so weird compared to like, you know, Mouse basically, or what he did after, you know.
Yeah. He actually sent me.
So is this where the code comes in?
Oh, wait. Yeah, it must be.
Which book is that?
This is Impact, issue 2. What does issue 1 look like? The cover? Well, yeah, issue 1 doesn't have it. Issue 2
So here we go.
does.
So this one's been neutered.
Yeah.
How much time passed between like EC getting out of comics entirely and the comics code being put into place?
It can't be very long.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, like all of these
Like
are 5-issue series, so maybe that is the answer.
In Panic, only like the last few issues are comics code.
Yeah.
I have that. Do you guys have that slipcase edition of Panic that's from Russ Cochran?
Not yet. But now I think I'm going down the path of I have to get a complete Russ Cochran now.
That's the only one I have of those slipcases.
Yeah.
I really want the slipcases of Little Lulu because those are some of the best comics.
I've got the Dark Horse.
Oh, yeah.
1 and 2.
Oh, and those are in color, right?
Yeah, but it's the new color, and it like it's not nice.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Also, it's a bit of a slog. It's not as funny.
Yeah, they're not really that great. There's some good, Will Elder stuff in there. That's
for sure.
All right, we're gonna get.
But the Mad Archives looks great. At least my version. I don't know what yours looks like. Because again, mine is different.
What
is that? Is there 3 volumes in there?
There's 4.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So mine is 4 as well. Mad Archives. This was put out by DC.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. When did that come out?
This one or that one?
Not yours.
I don't know. I think fairly recently. I got these probably in the last 10 years, I would guess.
Is it
no, wait, maybe not. This is actually 2002, so 20 years.
Is it glossy paper or is it matte?
No, it's really nice. This is why I'm interested in seeing his. It's
oh yeah,
it's like
nice.
It's like a matte paper. The color looks really, really nice.
Yeah.
Way better. I don't like glossy when they use glossy paper on those reprints because if you're reading it, you just got light reflected off of it.
Oh yeah. It looks like the covers aren't on gloss, but the artwork looks so good. Yeah. These 4 books, like there's 4 volumes of this, are like those. my favorite books. Like, if I had to get rid of 90% of these books, like, it would have to be like all except for 4 books.
Mm-hmm.
Like any less than that, then I would have to start getting rid of these because they are like the best. They look so good. That's why I'm so curious about this one, because you got this a while ago, and I've been sort of egging you on to look at it.
Yeah, I've had this for a long time, for years, and I've cracked them open like one time. It feels like a big thing. So anyway, it's split up 4 volumes, 1 through 6, 7 through 12, 13 through 17, and then 18 through 23. Which one am I looking at, Kyle? Which one do you want to?
Oh, geez. I think last week I was saying you should read, I think it was 17, I think you said.
Yeah.
Was a number, but I don't remember exactly which one it was.
I
would recognize the cover.
That's my favorite one right there, that special art issue that Will Elder did all himself.
That's a really strange issue.
Amazing. So good.
Very ballsy. Like, not for kids,
No. So great.
All right, where am I going to
I'd have a hard time picking one. There's like a few like stories that are some of my favorites, and like, it would probably have to be one of those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting they did these in color and the rest of them are all in black and white.
Well, are all the rest in black and white? All the other rest are your Panics in black and white?
Yeah, they're black and white.
Yeah. Wait, no, I didn't misremember. I just took a peek.
When was this published? That's what I want to know.
I don't know.
Let's get to the dirt.
I don't know. Why'd you yell at me?
When was this published?
That scared me. Okay. Hold on. Let me. Okay. Does it only turn bad when it's so big? Or 1987?
Okay.
Yeah. The quotations in this volume are from an interview with Harvey Kurtzman by John Benson, recorded September 7th, 1985, especially for these volumes.
Wow.
So they were at work for these for a long time. Like, they got this like little wiggle thing in here. Don't like that. Is this 17? Did I pick up the right one?
I think 17 is the last book in that
Yeah.
collection.
All right,
Is
so
that,
we'll go.
does that collection have the entirety of the Harvey Kurtzman years?
Well, he stuck around for the magazine for a little bit. No, he didn't. Did he? No.
Well, he's in there, like, definitely the first issue, at least, of like the new Mad. Where is it, 24 or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
It switches to the border.
Yeah.
He's on board for that. I don't know how many more after that he's on board for.
This
This
must
is
have
the
been.
issue, yeah.
Look at, I found a bookmark. I don't remember putting this bookmark in, but available now at Little Brown. There you go. Attention! This issue is going to change your whole viewpoint of viewpoint. Christ.
Oh, yeah.
Of Mad.
Upside
This
down.
issue will change your viewpoint, mainly because the insides are upside down. Turn inside downside up. The cover turns upside down. What fun, gang! People see you reading with cover upside down and think you're crazy.
I wish they didn't put that on the front cover. I wish that was on the inside.
Yeah, I think when I tried to get you to read this one last week, I cut that off when I sent you the image.
Oh, okay. Wait. Okay. Look at, here's the complete library, but why is it? Oh, because I have to turn this upside down. This is the end of it. But anyway, look at, so you have, I'm actually interested in this. You have the Weird Science, 4 volumes, Weird Fantasy, 4, Weird Science Fantasy, 2 volumes, Crime Suspense Stories, Shock Suspense Stories, 3 volumes, Two-Fisted Tales, Frontline Combat, Tales from the Crypt, The Haunt of Fear, The Vault of Horror, and then a bunch of, these ones are all shown together, but Psychoanalysis, MD, Impact, Aces High, Extra, Valor, and Piracy, and then Mad and Panic. 13 sets. Man, it's going to take forever to collect those. Okay, so now I have to go over here.
Oh, that's a great one.
So yours actually has like a glossy. The covers are glossy, and then the pages are matte.
Covers glossy, pages are matte, and man, these like, it looks good.
Yeah, that looks great.
Mm-hmm. I don't understand how you don't have these out all the time.
I don't have to explain myself to you.
This is a really good one. This is with Will Elder, and then I think Kriegstein does the other pages in between, like where it shows the reality of the character's life, and it's really tragic. Do you remember this?
Yeah, they have these kind of like piss score moments, I guess you could say. It's a little violent. Whenever there's domestic violence, it's done in like a serious kind of like upsetting style.
It's great. It's brilliant.
All right, so yeah, this is a take on Little Orphan Annie, and then God,
no, it's Bringing Back Father.
What? Oh, is that? Well, see, I'm ignorant. What is Bringing Back Father?
It's a great strip.
But who is this?
That's just a little insert joke. But that's Little Orphan Annie. But then she's like in this strip, which is a takeoff of a.
Okay. All right. So that's my confusion is at least explicable.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, here. Oh, we got an answer to the question. Comic Code was adopted October 54. Last EC comic was December 55. So just a little over a year, and they shuttered the place. That's pretty intense. Oh, and then Kurtzman's last issue was number 29.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I have a hard time balancing conversation and the chat. So
look how tragic. Look how tragic the art is. That is such a good comic, man.
God, look at that.
The whole joke of like a popular joke in Bringing Up Father is that like the wife is always like abusing him, like throwing pots and pans at him and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man, look at this poor guy.
Well, it's cool to see. I mean, this helps me kind of imagine what Krigstein's art looks like colored. Well, not imagine. I'm seeing it colored. But you don't understand, like with, what do you call it? Master Race, or like I'm looking through that Fantagraphics book.
Yeah.
It's interesting now to see it in color because I saw so much of it just in.
It's just kind of, I got.
It's almost funnier now because it's more shocking because we have a better understanding of like how awful domestic abuse is.
One of his teeth is broken.
Oh my god. Let's see the page right beside it though, where it's.
Oh yeah, so it's you know.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Come back here, you worm! Throw the glass with the teeth.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's so great. And then look at, and then you see the aftermath. And he's now laying in the street.
Yeah.
With all the plates and shit.
Oh, Shane Buckley points out that Annie is in that strip because she also doesn't have pupils. That's a good catch.
Oh yeah. What was the deal with that as like visual storytelling? Just
probably because they pop. You know, like they really like your eyes are lazy and they're drawn to the white. So like if you don't have pupils in there, you know, maybe it kind of catches your attention, disrupts what you're used to, maybe even a little. I don't know. I can never go through with it. Whenever I try, I end up coloring them in or adding a dot.
Yeah. All right. So this
beware of wife. Reserved for my husband.
Come on, man. That's like one of the best comics that Matt has ever published. It's so good. Poor guy. She's always rolling her sleeve up too. She's about to kick his ass.
I love this. How like the colors are inverted, where she goes like zipping through.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. This is like, I've never seen this one.
Oh, it's great.
You haven't seen this one? I think part of it was reprinted in that completely mad coffee table book that I'm always bringing up, the big square one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and it's like, I mean, it is kind of funny. I mean, like what you were saying about like it's funnier now because it's like we recognize the horror that is spousal abuse, but it feels like, you know, there is like the trope in so many comics, like, you know, it went on like Andy Capp, right? Like his wife always had like her hair in rollers and the rolling pin, and it's like, I don't know. There was some awareness from whomever wrote this, Kurtzman, I guess, to like how horrible it is to be like have that be a running gag of you know, a woman just abusing this guy.
What is that black and white page?
I don't know. I was about to ask if this is like they were talking about the comics code or something. Television department here. I'm not going to zoom all the way in because it'll be a bother to like go on. Here we have a scene from a television show that began in April and that by now every man, woman, and child in the USA should be familiar with. Although this show was originally programmed for 2 weeks, at this writing, it seems to have become a regular sustaining broadcast that may go on forever. Now you kiddos and grown-ups who just even glanced at it were no doubt struck by the monotony of this show, the lack of plot, the repetitious dialogue, the dull, uninteresting scenery with the same camera angles again and again. We of MAD respectfully suggest that the approach to this show was all wrong, and with an eye towards constructive criticism, we offer on the following pages our suggestions as to how it should have been done. Okay. All right. That's our setup. I'm glad that we didn't just skip by it.
So Shane says that's the House of Un-American Activities Committee. So I guess that was on TV all the time.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's Al Cap he's probably somewhere back there.
Yeah. Selling out. Was he really a part of that?
No, I think there was like, he wasn't part of that, but there was like he was interviewing. I saw it on YouTube. I like went down some communism rabbit hole, and he was interviewing somebody about communism, and it was like this very confrontational thing. But he was like interviewing them as a journalist, and I could be misremembering because that's mostly what I do is misremember things. But yeah, here's What's My Shine.
So whenever in this first run of Mad they would do TV parodies, they did a lot of interesting things to sort of draw your attention to the medium of TV. So like here they've got all the borders around like a TV screen.
Yeah.
But there's a couple other ones where they've actually drawn lines all the way down on every panel.
Oh yeah, for like the refreshing or whatever of it.
Yeah,
well,
and
they start with this, right, to like bring you in and be like, it is a TV from far away. You zoom in.
Which like Mad doesn't do really after this period, right? When it's doing TV, it's just like, well, everyone knows what TV is, but you know, here it's like TV is ripe for parody, like as a medium. And I find a lot of stuff that they do with it in their various TV parodies to be very interesting.
Who's the artist on that? Is that Jack Davis?
It is Jack Davis. Very good eye.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. This is where you want to be.
I'm trying to figure out what.
It's been an easy day for Marie Severin.
Yeah. What's that stuff called? Kyle, do you know? Is it craft tint or something like that? That old paper you can get.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what they used.
There's duotone and duo shade. I did a video on this.
Oh.
But I don't remember all the shit. But yeah, there was I think it was duo shade, and then there was single tone and duotone, and so you would have like you would have the paint or like elixir, I don't know what you would call it, developer, that's what it is, and you would paint it on, and then it would expose the pattern, and it was either horizontal lines, or they would have like intersecting lines.
There's also additive versions though, where it's like you would have like a piece of paper with like the pattern on it, and you could like rub it onto the page.
And that is what's that called?
Or whatever.
Zipatone, that's what that is.
Yeah.
That is where you apply it to it, but like the duo shade, you apply it. It is an element of the paper, basically.
Yeah, it's like one of those paint with water paintings or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's already there. It's just underneath.
Yeah. And it's like has like mercury and shit in it. It was very not good for you. Yeah.
How you live by the pen, you die by the pen.
Yeah. I imagined like there's like the radiation girls who would do like when they first discovered like radium, you could put it on a watch dial so you could have like glowing numbers at nighttime. Yeah. And he's like, it's a tragic story, but these girls would be like the ones painting the dials, and to get their brush, like they would lick it.
Oh, God.
And then they would dip it in the radium, and then they would paint it. And so like their whole, you can imagine, it's just like, it was horrible. But I imagine there's probably artists who are doing that.
I do that.
Yeah, but you're not with radium.
Yeah, with ink.
Yeah.
Not straight ink though, but like dip it in the water. Get it, gotta get the right shape.
Yeah. I think you'll be fine.
That habit I picked up.
You use a brush, Kyle, when you draw?
Not very often, no. But when I have,
I never learned.
Or like when I paint. I haven't painted in a while, but I used to paint quite a bit.
But you can. Oh, my camera sucks. But anyway, yeah, you can see that like the craft tint stuff. How they make like they're able to do that cool pattern right there, and also like by like painting around, you get like the letters showing up on that. Thing. Yeah, it's pretty neat. Whoa, look at that! I love this. How he just painted it bigger to actually magnify that. That's neat. Non-toxic paint.
It's probably toxic. I don't know. I used to smoke too, so
Yeah, it's what is that?
It's supposed to be, I'm so
LD50?
healthy. I'm not licking my brushes. I'll just take a bunch of speed now.
EC went to sea. Whoa, look at this.
Oh man. Is that
Got to leave
like,
room to draw on the panels.
No, this is a joke.
oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, hold on, let's zoom in. Consistent with our past practice of devoting this page to a serious analysis of the situation of the world today and how it affects us, we present still another article taking up this subject. In the past, we have had analysis representing the bigger nations presenting their views. However, this time, we thought we might turn to one of the small nations for their views, since we deem the small view just as important as the big view. And after all, the small view can be very informative by contrast, and so we present this small view from the small country, this small view entitled Something by Sue. So
that's amazing, man. Is
that
one of
the
those
thing about this early run of Mad? It really was exploring the medium, like the medium of comics and the mediums that it was exploring, like that it was lampooning. And it's just so like avant-garde or something, like it's just really at the cutting edge of humor at the time.
Yeah. And it's
still so funny,
right? Was that the whole thing? Like early comics had to have some kind of like article in there. It was just text, so they could get like a better postage rate because it could be shipped as like a magazine or something like that.
That makes sense.
They
do all have that.
Yeah, like media mail or something. I thought there was also like some holdover from like what EC used to be, and maybe this isn't it, but you would see that in some of them with like things like referencing the Bible. Or it was like these educational comics that EC used to put out when Gaines's father was in charge. So I think there may have been, I might be mixing the two things up, confusing those two things, but yeah.
I'm going to be right back.
All right. I'm going to make you disappear.
Listen, hot gold.
Now that Kyle's gone. Look, here's the best is the letters page. That's I don't know if you know this. The letters page is my favorite part of Mad Magazine. Well, during certain periods. I just read Mad and I thought the auto seat advertisement was good. Rocky from Detroit, Michigan. Yeah, that's good to know. Thanks, Rock. Last week, my best friend informed me that in his work, he finds gobs and gobs of issues of Mad. The next day, I got a job with him. And now I'm living happily ever after with a warehouse full of Mad magazines. Stan the Garbage Man. No address.
Is that one that says, come on, let's see more of Wolverton's work?
Wait, does that seriously say that? Where do you see it?
Yeah, I want Basil, the last letters on the other side there. You see?
Yeah. Come on, let's see more of Wolverton's work, J.D. Carlson. I want Basil.
You got it. What's with the weird letter? That's just a joke up there, I guess.
Yeah, it must be something that they put in a previous issue. But look at Albert Lee, Minnesota. I know where that is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there must be some type of code or something from a previous issue. But all right, I'm zooming out. Meet Miss Potgold. Oh, just this is an old advertisement one. What beer is this? I don't even know, man.
Is that a real photograph, or is that like a amazing Will Elder?
No, yeah, that's a photograph. Yeah.
Oh.
And then it's like I don't know. It's not. I was going to say, like, it has a filter on it. Like, that's what it appears. Like, it doesn't appear like how a photograph, I feel like, would appear even in a comic book at this time. It, like, you see all those little dots from the printing process.
Okay.
But, I don't know. They printed some of those pages in Chinese, Russian, and Egyptian hieroglyphs. It allowed for second-class postage rates. And that must be like how like media mail now, like if you don't have ads, you can send it for a cheaper rate. It must just be something like that. Miss Rheingold. A New
Ah,
York City-based beer used to have beauty pageants. All right.
wow.
Yeah,
Jeez.
that's like one of the weird things is like sometimes in early Mad, like well even into like the 60s, there was I noticed like a lot of jokes that are just very New York centric, where it
Mhm.
was like, if you were living in Minnesota, would you understand this
I know,
at that
right?
time? It's like, but I don't know. I guess that's like where. Oh, look at Kyle.
Oh, hello. I'm back. See, I live stream on Sundays, and we have an intermission.
Oh yeah. Look at
Oh, that's
this.
awesome.
Speaking of more Basil Wolverton. God damn.
Great.
So this is pretty early into his like ugly career, I would say.
Yeah.
You
What
know,
would a kid have thought of this shit? Like in the 50s, like they just you open it like what were they?
I mean, it blows kids' mind today.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I teach kids art, like I do extracurricular art teaching, and I've had to retire multiple Basil Wolverton books because they just get read to death. Like kids are completely like fascinated, just as like I'm sure you or I was when we first saw a Basil
that's
Wolverton
awesome.
drawing.
That's
It's,
cool to know.
It's like it's a life-changing experience, I think,
Yeah.
in some ways. He didn't do that much for Mad. He was only in one more issue than I was in.
Really?
Oh yeah, we heard this 1,000 times.
You've heard it like 4 times, Mr. Exaggeration. But I mean, like, he was only in like 8 issues or something. Like, it's not that many.
But
Did
okay,
he do all the covers of Plop? Remember that comic that was like a shitty
yes,
humor?
yeah,
The covers.
he did a bunch of them, yeah, and they're awesome. Okay, so
He did some trading card series too, I think.
I'm gonna say something. When you were like, how did kids react to this? I mean, don't ridicule me for saying the obvious, but it's like I look at this and like the way he renders his images, and it seems like Crumb would have been influenced by him, like some of like the artistic style
Yeah.
of Crumb stuff, right? So I
He doesn't
imagine
talk about it, but it's obvious. Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
obvious. Even more so when you read like Powerhouse Pepper or what's the other one? Scoop Scuttle and his pals, or there's a bunch of them. He's got a bunch of zany
Culture
characters.
Corner, remember that?
Yeah, Culture Corner for sure.
Did you just get that Scoop Scuttle book, by the way, that came out, that Fantagraphics published?
Yeah, I got it. I think I might even have pre-ordered it when I
Okay.
got it, or I got it right after it came out.
I want to pick that up.
It's really good, but I mean, you can't sit down and read the whole thing in one go. It's because they're all like really short little bits that weren't meant to be read that way.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of my like reprint stuff will have like a bookmark in it. It's like I've gotten this far, and then I'll pull them off periodically and start from there again.
Yeah, it's impossible to sit down and read into
To Tracy.
Crazy Cat. Crazy Cat.
Oh, Crazy Cat, yeah.
Dick
You're like-
Tracy.
And you're like, I'm going to sit and read all these. You can't do it, man. You can't. You can read a few at a time, but you can't just like sit there like and spend a whole day with it. I can't anyway.
Well, they're too moving too. Like there's too much going on that you don't want to read like 100 of them. You only need to read a couple,
And you have to reread them multiple times to figure out what the fuck is going on. Like you go, like, wait, what does that mean? Because the language is so crazy.
Yeah, they're all written with that weird like patois or whatever.
Yeah,
It's
so you have to go
called,
like, what is he trying to say actually?
Yeah.
It's difficult.
I love the guy licking his nose with the twisted around neck.
Yeah. So like with Crazy Cat, is that like because then like I found reading a lot of old like superhero comics, right? Like it's painful to read them all the way through because I mean, one, they're dense. Like I'm thinking of John Carter of Mars. Like I bought all of the floppies of that, and it's like they were meant to be read like once a month and spaced out. So like when you try to read a bunch of them in a row, it's not like now where they're writing them for the trades. Is that like kind of like Crazy Cat, where it was, or was it just like put out as like a?
It was daily. It was a daily.
Yeah,
Okay.
daily.
Oh, it was a daily. Okay. So yeah. So that's sort of like, you wouldn't expect it to be read more than one at a time, right?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So it's like,
it's like you read one a day.
yeah. And then they get redundant, like the dailies for like Mandrake the Magician, where it's like, wait a second, I don't need a whole panel recapping what just happened, guys.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I said Dick Tracy, because it's like I had a couple of those like all the dailies put together, and it's such a pain in the neck to read, because the last panel is always basically the first panel of the next one. So you almost only get every 2 panels. But then if you actually cut them up, like they do in I think it's like the greatest cases of Dick Tracy or whatever.
I got that, yeah.
Sometimes they don't make sense because they've had to choose like which of these panels are we going to use.
Yeah.
You know what's so funny? Like Little Orphan Annie is kind of like that too, where they like recap what happened.
Yeah.
And sometimes the story will go into the Sundays, and then the Sundays you're rereading the last part of the last strip that you just read, because he redraws it for the papers that only get the Sundays.
Yeah.
So it's like you're rereading the same thing over and over again on the Sundays, and then he'll give you a little bit more of the story. But then he only gives you a little bit of the story, but then you get into the next week, the next daily, and it's like he's rewritten it. It's like the same scenario, but he's like rewritten it. It's after a while you're
and
like,
it's like, no wonder it took me a year to read this, like to tell this story. You're like 2/3 of it is a story, and 1/3 is recapping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, it's really I got these books recently, and they're because the cartooning is really good, but it's so hard to read, like these Dennis the Menace comics.
Here, hold on. Let me boom. Oh yeah.
So they did 3 volumes of these, and I just got them because like I love the drawing style so much.
Yeah.
But you're just like, fuck this kid, man. He sucks. Like he's no redeeming quality. Like you hate this little piece of shit. So it's hard to read it because you just hate him so much. He's just always fucking up everybody's day.
Well, and he always gets over too, right? Like it's one thing to read about an unlikable character when like their unlikability causes them problems, like Dan Close Wilson or whatever, like he's a like piece of shit, basically, the character. So it's like you can read this awful character and enjoy it, because bad things happen to him. But like, there's the Menace. He just ruins everything else for everyone else.
Yeah, and nothing bad happens to him.
Yeah.
Well, so the story behind Dennis the Menace is, Hank Ketchum has a son named Dennis, and so he's like the character is like loosely based off of his own son, except that Hank Ketchum, as I remember it, was kind of like a fucking asshole of a father. Like he was kind of absentee, but he was like, he became, a millionaire. He got all that Dairy Queen money, with Dennis the Menace. So Dennis is like estranged from his father, goes to Vietnam, comes back, is all fucked up, has no relation with him, but everywhere he goes, every paper he picks up,
man.
His dad's basically like throwing him under the bus.
Yeah. Dennis the Menace. He goes to get a fucking ice cream cone, and it's Dennis the Menace. It's like,
that'd be a good Box Brown book.
Yeah.
The
story of Dennis.
I have
the real Dennis.
I have read the UK Dennis. My wife is actually from England. She loves that shit, and she has the copies of the Beano, which is where that UK version of Dennis the Menace appears. I think that character sucks too, but she's like, no, it's so much better. It's great. He sucks, man.
I mean, compare Dennis to like Calvin. It's like there's no contest. And Calvin's an asshole character too, but like for some reason he's very compelling.
Yeah.
I agree. The British comic is funnier, but I still don't like it. I don't know. I mean, like as far as like British humor comics go, I don't think I can think of any that I think are really that great. Like I like their I thank them for like Brian Boland and like all those, like the 2000 AD stuff. But like, I've been unimpressed with a lot of their humor comics. I hate to say it.
Have you read? Is it Viz? There was like an underground
Viz.
book. Very weird.
Isn't Viz is like it's currently a magazine, isn't it? I had somebody DM'd me. They said that I need to pick it up.
This Viz.
Okay.
Which was like almost like a zine kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, here, let me put you solo layout.
Like here's Johnny Fart Pants.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of weird stuff. There's like skinhead characters. It's very bizarre. Like inexplicable, like absurd humor.
Yeah.
But it's very different.
Like, is that like Knockabout or something published that?
Who published this? This is actually published by Virgin.
Oh, really?
Was that different than the Viz magazine?
Yeah, I think it was like I think these are the covers. This is all I know about it is basically like this collection that I picked up secondhand.
Okay.
But I think it was like maybe a little bit higher than a zine in terms of like publication.
Yeah.
But it's like really kind of edgy underground kind of stuff.
Is it pretty funny?
It's funny, but it's funny in like a British kind of way. So
I bet that's Belgian, isn't it? Asterix.
Yeah, I always thought Asterix was like Tintin, where it's like that Franco-Belgian thing.
Well, this is British, I believe.
Harvey Esquire said British comics like Asterix and Obelix. But I had a bunch of those comics in different languages, and so like I never understood where it was from, because I had one that was like all in Latin and then one in Spanish, and so I was like, where the fuck is this thing from? Like, and I only learned recently. So Viz in America is a manga magazine. Well, yeah, they do.
Yeah, this was more like a zine. This is more like an offensive for offensive sake zine from the like 80s, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 80s, late 70s, early 80s.
Here, I'm going to bring this up again. I got to bring this up. These real quick because what? Come here. Okay, there we go. Somebody on this, I was doing a live stream. We were talking about Wolverton, and we talked about how Basil Wolverton was a member of this religious organization. It was like a Christian organization, and they made some type of like pamphlet or small book, like explaining what they were all about. And somebody who watches this live stream, I don't know if they like still watch, I remember they sent me a message and they said, my dad was a member of that church, and they were going to see if he had a copy of it. But do you guys know what I'm talking about?
No.
Yeah, my buddy, Brent, who's like he's head of the art department at Good Robot Brewing Company. Mm-hmm. He grew up in that cult.
Wait, was it you that messaged me?
I don't think I messaged. I might have brought it up at some point, but yeah, I've been meaning to get him on my show, but I just been so busy I haven't set it up. I'm sorry?
There was a cult that he was in?
Yeah, it's like it was like a Christian cult. They were really into the Old Testament and Revelations.
Okay.
It wasn't like a weird like touching kids cult. It was like a more wholesome cult. But I think they might not have done like Christmas and stuff like that.
Well, hold on. I feel like a wholesome cult is just a religion. Like,
no, 'cause it's based on numbers, I think. Like, and also it was more like it was more like Latter-day Saints kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
I got to get him on my show and talk to him about it, but I haven't had a chance to really set it up.
Do you have that Basil Wolverton Bible thing that he did?
I do.
Yeah, I got it. That book is really expensive to get now, but it's on my list.
I got it. I think when it was new and it was not that expensive.
Yeah, that's great stuff.
That's what you got to do. You got to get a book when it comes out.
I can't always do that. I'm a busy man. I can't.
I always miss, and I get them in the secondary market. But the only problem with that book is like, it's not like where Crumb illustrated Genesis,
which was beautiful. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, it's great. But Wolverton, because he was a member of this church, he was like an elder in this like weird sort of Christian cult. He did all of the artwork for all of their publications. So like, you see Jehovah's Witnesses or whatever, they give you like Watchtower magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, their publications that were like for their kids and stuff in the church was all put out by Wolverton, and he basically illustrated the whole Bible.
Wow.
Over the course of his life. And this book collects all of that, but it wasn't all comics. So it's like they've tried to like piece like quotes from the Bible as they put it all in order. So it doesn't really read like reading the Bible.
Oh man, I'd still be interested in picking that up.
It's gorgeous. Like it's really cool. Cool artwork. Yeah, it's definitely worth having, especially if you're into like mythology or religion or something like that, which I am. Then so I had to have it. But
well, I get like I don't know why. Well, I guess I do know why, because I was raised Catholic, but I really like comic versions of like the Bible and like biblical stories, but like not the ones. I don't know. My wife's friend like gave her this like it was called like the Kids Action Bible, and it was like sort of a generic like comic type thing, and it sucks, But like this, have you guys? I got this the Bible. This is the I could probably do my overhead one. This is the Joe Kubert illustrates the Bible.
Oh yeah. I want this.
One of those oversized ones. It's like, I don't know. I love shit like this, and also like that. What do you call it? We were literally just talking about it. I don't know why I can't remember it. Yeah, the Genesis.
Or the Wolverton Bible. It's right here.
Yeah.
This one.
Hey, let's all show different biblical.
Okay, I got one too, actually. Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
I've got a couple others on the shelf, actually. But I recently pulled out a whole bunch of books, and so like I haven't rearranged my shelf. So I'm not always confident when I get up that what I'm looking for is going to be where I want it to be.
Yeah. But it's like, that, what is that? The Princess Bride, where the guy's like the granddad's telling the story. That's like the setup for this is like these two kids are on a walk with their granddad, and he starts telling them the story of the Bible. And it's just beautiful, man. Do you got one? Where is it?
I don't know where they all. It's all out of whack.
Yeah, jeez.
I had a whole section of.
Do you have something in your lap right now?
Yeah, I do. Hold on 1 second.
All right, I'm just gonna keep flipping through.
Yeah, I do. I'll show you what I have.
Oh, okay.
This is underground cartoonist Rick Griffin. He did the Gospel of John.
Oh.
So, because he was like one of those Jesus freaks, those hippies that get really into Jesus.
Yeah.
He did this.
Well, he found Jesus during his career, right? Like.
Yeah. I love
like his early stuff is not like he's still into the iconography, but it's a different thing.
Yeah, he was like a surfer cartoonist. But this is I don't know. It's not really comics. He just like did like a lot of illustrated. He just did like a lot of illustrations in here.
Yeah.
It's like it's like really psychedelic. So I don't know. I mean, it's not really a comic, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan. I like all the Zap cartoonist guys.
That's really cool.
Yeah. What do you got, Kyle?
I didn't find everything, but I did just read these. These are not actually directly Bible, but this is Image put these out. It's a series called The Goddamned. These very reflective covers, but very interesting. Like this my shelves are.
You said goddamn.
I know, right?
There you go. That's it.
That looks pretty good.
But this one is about like Cain wandering the earth in like Bible times, but it takes it very like it really. I'm trying to find a page that I can show. Like it's really like barbaric and like this is Noah here, and in the story he's like basically rounding up slaves to like build his ark, and he's got this big like sort of religious movement going on. and Kane's almost like a superhero. It's a really like shocking series, but if you're into like especially like Old Testament Bible myths, it's really well done. And so it's 2 volumes. The first one is like about Cain sort of like walking the earth around the time of Noah, so still in Genesis. And then the second one is about these like little girls that live in this weird like isolated community, but like everyone's like missing body parts, and like it's very, very gruesome, gritty. Like look at like the history, like imagining what it would be like to be in the Bronze Age, you know, like
who are the
earlier
artists?
maybe even. Who's the artist? Says Jason Aaron,
Aaron, yeah.
Aram Guerra, and Julio Brusco.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, Jason Aaron he's a writer.
Yeah.
Well, I think he does this.
Oh my gosh, it's scary.
I'm trying to remember who did art, but he wrote
Curious situation up there.
Kyle, it didn't just fall off, it hovered for a bit, like somebody was pulling it off.
Oh, well, it was probably sliding.
No, it stopped in the air and hovered there, like your house is haunted.
I'm sure it didn't. It must have been the computer freezing up.
Boom. Yeah.
Poltergeist.
But the Jason Aaron did like some kind of cool books. He did a really neat Thor story.
He did the Star Wars.
He's doing Star Wars now.
Well, he did the Star Wars comics when they first went to Marvel. Pretty sure he was the writer on that.
Yeah.
He did Scalped, right?
Yeah, he did Scalped, and he did Southern Bastards. That was another one.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I've heard of that one.
Yeah.
I don't usually pay a lot of attention to Image, or like Marvel or DC, but these kind of came on my radar because of the biblical connection.
Yeah, that's cool.
I was just like, that sounds really interesting, and it's done in a very like, almost like a realistic way. Like it reminds me of like a revisionist Western or something, where like they've taken all the like heroism and romance out of it and told it in this very sort of like gritty, visceral way with a lot of texture, but not in like the way that like The Dark Knight Returns or something is edgy. It's done in like a very like believable way.
Yeah.
For the time period. It's very interesting.
This is going back a little bit in the conversation. Monty Wolverton, he does editorial cartoons. He did stuff for Mad, and he adopted his dad's style, I think, pretty successfly.
I'm Facebook friends with him, so I see some of his
me too.
His cartoons, and they're pretty cool. I don't know that much opinion about them.
Yeah, they're all like kind of like lib kind of cartoons.
Right.
They're good.
Guys, I don't really understand how Facebook works. I tried to start an account to like promote my channel. I'm live streaming to Facebook right now. It's like the hardest thing to use.
Yeah, you had to get in on the ground floor, man. It's too late now. You had to get in around like 06.
2021. I'm coming in too late.
We're leaving Facebook now.
Shit.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I'm relying on it quite a bit for the Crumb stuff because there's so many old people on there.
Oh, that's why I'm on there still. It's because like all the older cartoonists are on Facebook. So
yeah,
you can see all that cool stuff.
Well, I got to figure out some other place to stream to because 0 people watch me on Facebook, and that
Facebook has become old when you could like actually just post a Robert Crumb page on your Facebook profile, and like nobody will get outraged anymore because it's just older people who are like grew up with that stuff. They're like, oh yeah, that's great, man. Like it used to be.
There are very specific groups of young people that like.
Oh man,
if you're in those,
and so much shit one time. I wished Robert Crumb a happy birthday in like 2015, and dude, you wouldn't believe how much shit that post got. Like, I was shocked. That was the first time I actually realized that people hated Crumb. I didn't even really know it. I was like, oh my god.
Well, I guess I did. I'm learning right now that people hate him. Like, okay, like I get like, is it like objectifying women? Is that a big one?
Everything. Oh man, there's so much.
That was the original, I would say, linchpin. People used to be much more upset about that than the racist stuff. Now I feel like it's more the racism.
Okay.
But like, you know, if you read interviews or stories about him from like even the early 2000s or whatever, people are talking about like, oh, this hilarious story with Angel Food McSpade, but you know, he's unfair to women or something.
That's pretty crazy.
And then like,
What
but
is the
nowadays I
name?
think
No,
Angel Food McSpade,
awful character.
an unfortunate character who is like lovable, but also like unfortunately very racist.
Well, yeah, I
Whether-
can I can figure that out from the last name.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Um,
Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Was it? Is
But
it?
then-
I have a question though. Is it like? I mean, I guess like a lot of people now will say there's no difference. It doesn't matter. Like, is it sincere racism, or is it like he was doing a bit
No,
type of thing?
I mean,
like,
contextual, like I think it depends, right? Like, because I think when you look at his early stuff, I think he's kind of throwing this sort of like 1930s imagery back at the viewer, and like it's clearly not done to demonize black people. It's done in like a way to like demonize the culture in the way that it commodifies black bodies or whatever.
yeah,
But he loses the moral high ground as it goes on. Like by the time you get to the late 70s and stuff, like even just some of the titles, like I don't even want to say them.
Yeah.
Like
Pretty bad.
yeah. I'm worried now.
yeah, so and I mean like I'm already preparing to basically do the Angel Food McSpade episode.
Yeah,
And you know, I feel like he does lose he loses the more like the plausible deniability at the same time. But the thing about Crumb is that he's working from the id, you know, so it's all like stream of consciousness. He's exploring his consciousness. He's almost like a psychonaut on the page, you know, and so you know, even when he does stuff that's like inexcusable basically for what it is, you know, like he's kind of like putting it out there, and then you know he seems to be a better person for it because he doesn't really draw those, you know, black face stereotypes really after the 70s, you know, even though he does some other stuff that's like a big problem. But you know, he obviously grows throughout it, and you know, it's interesting, you know, but at the same time I can understand why someone would totally be like say like no, he did this so he's done, you know.
yeah. But he's still alive, like you said. Like he's still like
Yeah,
he
yeah,
has what is it called? Exhibit in
yeah, he lives
France right now?
in Paris, or not Paris.
Yeah.
So he lives in France. In well, I won't say where, I guess.
No,
I have his address. I've been meaning to write him a letter, but I haven't
You
had
have
the
his
guts to do it.
address?
Yeah, some asshole posted
Let's got
that.
it. Let's scoop it. We got the scoop. Tell.
I haven't shared it, but like some asshole like posted like a postcard that exchange that he had with him, and like his address was right on it, and it was on on one of those Facebook groups. So I saved it, but I was also like, you should probably take this down now that I have it. Kyle, you talk about Crumb like I talk about Mad. I talk about Mad like that too, though.
Yeah.
I'm a big Mad fan.
Yeah.
And contributor. Not a big contributor. I'm a small contributor, big fan.
Here I'm opening this book back up.
Yeah, we keep getting off of the course.
Oh wait, I keep hitting the wrong button. I keep thinking,
Man, you should do more of these old Mads. They're so good.
well, you know, as you can see though, my equipment is failing me and it's making me pissed.
So,
You can't even
somebody-
fucking read this. Jeez Louise. Sorry
That's
guys, I
a
don't mean to
movie?
swear.
that's a movie parody.
Yeah, Julius Caesar. Was this like a big movie?
That's what somebody said in the comments, I think.
Was it like a Cecil B. DeMille film or something?
Probably.
Oh yeah. Yes, Julius Caesar parodies the movie and satirizes mad ripoffs. And this would definitely be the time where you know, now the only what is it? Like what did they say about Panic? Like the officially endorsed mad ripoff, or like, you know, the only mad approved mad ripoff.
Yeah.
Who is this? This is Wood. Old Wallace Wood. You guys want me to zoom in on this? Just to
You can really
Man.
see it in the like the pose in the background, the big tough guy holding up his arm. That's kind of like some wood body idealism.
Oh, this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks like Marlon Brando.
It is, yeah. Must have been. Was he in that movie? Maybe.
I don't know.
That's the problem with a lot of this old stuff is like, some of it might be like from a specific movie, but then it might be bringing in references from other movies at the time. So sometimes you don't know all the material.
Yeah.
My controversial opinion about Wood is that he couldn't draw funny. I never, even when he was like doing that style, I don't think it's funny. I think it's like really, really
funny.
good. But yeah, I don't know. Doesn't not the same as like Elder.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, that's an interesting hot take.
People, if people get, everybody's like, I'm not like a giant Wally Wood fan either.
Well, yeah, okay, I'm not a big fan of like a lot of his writing. I have some of like his Wits End stuff.
Yeah.
And like I like the art a lot.
Yeah.
I like the concepts and like the story overall, but like a lot of times like it just doesn't, the execution isn't as great when he's writing. I
always feel like my opinion about humor drawing is that like you can't be too good of a drawer if you want to be funny. Like I think the worse you are at drawing, the funnier your comic will be. And I've seen people try and do humor comics and they over render them, or it's just too good. Like the anatomy is really good or something. It's like it kind of loses something for me there. Like I like shit. Like Sam Henderson is like a hilarious cartoonist to me, you know.
So, well, I guess that answers my question that I was going to ask of both of you, which is like, well, what is it that makes like somebody draw funny? What is that je ne sais quoi?
Well, I got to say the exception. There's exceptions to that. You know, Will Elder is an exception. He's an amazing artist and draftsman. But I don't know. I always prefer simple. Like if you look at Harvey Kurtzman's comics. Oh man, now I'm spacing on. What was the ones he was doing for like in the back of like Marvel comics?
Hey, look.
Yeah, Hey, look. That's perfect. That's perfect humor cartooning to me. You know.
Yeah.
Really slick, but it's like simple. It's like it's pared down.
Yeah.
I think that's important in a humor drawing. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's probably like the number one, but I don't know. Like the shittier it looks, the funnier it is to me.
See, I don't know, because there's also artists like Severin who gets criticized for not being able to draw funny, even by like Kurtzman, basically.
I'm gonna say I don't think he draws funny either.
But you know, like I tried to read a Conan book by him like about a year ago, and like I couldn't take it serious. There's something about it, but I don't know if that I was conditioned to like if I have like a Pavlovian response to his style or something. Yeah, it's hard. I don't know, because I mean, even like early like 19th century cartoonists and stuff, you know, like Daumier or like Goya or something, you know, like they can draw really well, but like, is it funny? You know, did comics get really funny? You know, in the around Crazy Cat, was that like basically the change? You know,
right?
It's hard to say.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
there's different like changing tastes. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There's except like Dan Clowes, when he's funny, and he draws really well. So there's exceptions, but just like, you know, I don't know. I like it when it's just like has like an immediate quality to it, almost like somebody like in class and somebody's making fun of the teacher. They just drew like a little quick, goofy drawing making fun of the teacher or something. They pass it to you really fast. Like it has that kind of like quality of like just immediate, like, here, look at this piece of shit. You know.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm drawn to for sure.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think there is comedy that like takes a very serious kind of like approach to the art, but then like manages to still be like very funny in a different kind of way.
Yeah.
But it's hard to describe what that quality is, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, is it, you know, like Noah, what you were describing, like that the idea of like passing a quick note versus something that's like
Belabored
overly
over.
rendered? Like,
Yeah.
is it about, when you have to do a drawing quickly, you have to capture the emotion of it, and
Right.
that is what you have to focus on. So the emotion being the humor aspect of it. And so if you are over rendering, you're making, if it's too precious to you, the illustration, you're going to lose the humor in it because you've now shifted focus into something else.
Yeah, you go like, oh man, that's a really beautiful drawing. Like you spend so much time looking at it, it's like kind of kills the quickness of the humor or something. Like the joke that it's supposed to be portraying. I don't know. Like yeah, I mean, like there's comics I read, like Ivan Brunetti's early work to me is hilarious, and that's like just has such a weird art style. It's more simple, more pared down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think like so much of humor is in the movement of the characters, going back to like even outside of comics in like vaudeville or something, like in like so much of humor is about like, the slapstick,
the gesture
motion of it. So yeah, the gesture. And so if you pare that down in like a more simplified style, then you're going to kind of communicate that better. Whereas like if something's really rendered, it might look stiff.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I could see that being like a definite quality.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. It's an interesting thing to think about.
Is somebody like, okay, so there's two artists I've been thinking about recently, and that they're not, there's no like similarities between them, but one is Quentin Blake, the illustrator who did like all the Roald Dahl books.
Great.
And then so like with him, I think of like that idea of gesture, right? Like I feel like he's really good at capturing like the excitement of a person, and it's like it's done fast, and it has that sort of like the essence of the illustration. You have that emotion. But then the other one I was thinking about is Ralph Steadman. I got this Ralph Steadman. I forget what the title is, but it's Ralph Steadman's America, I think is what it is. And it's an old Fantagraphics book that I picked up. And like that's really, because a lot of his stuff is very funny, but he puts a lot of effort and time into his drawings. And so like, I don't know, I just like,
Ralph, it's not in a traditional sense though. It's not in like anatomy and perspective.
You can put a lot of time into it, but it has to have like a confident looseness is what I always think about. Like, it has to be like really loose and like spontaneous, and that's how I would describe his work.
Yeah,
it's a structure that only he would know how to plan out.
Yeah.
Well, comedy's so much about like rhythm and timing and stuff, so it would make sense to have like a more like rhythmic kind of style,
right?
Which is why Harvey Kurtzman's so good, like,
yeah, absolutely. It's why
like
it's so funny,
like jazz or something,
Yeah, but so I wouldn't buy like a collection of like Wally Wood humor comics or something because it's just doesn't do it for me. I like looking at his drawing. I think he's like an amazing drawer, but I just don't think he's not who I would have hired. I would have hired Jules Pfeiffer or something back then to do stuff for Matt.
He would have been a good example. But like with Wally Wood, he's really aping the styles, right? And so that's such a key component to Mad that like you wouldn't have modern Mad if you didn't have Wally Wood at the same time.
True. Yeah, he did all those like perfect like Disney stuff, Yeah, Wit's End is so good, Do you have that collection that Fantagraphics put out?
I have, there's two I'm not going to go get any more books. I'm going to have an avalanche, I think, if I go over there. There's too many load-bearing books right now. But it's like a big kind of gray book. It's like this thick, Wit's End. So much I think that's a new one. But there's another one that's like bigger that I think came out before.
Yeah.
I don't have
They have the slipcase, which is the complete Wit's End, and then they have one that's just the best of Wit's End.
Yeah, that's what I have best of.
Yeah, I have that one too, and that it's great because it has like all the loony stuff that Steve Ditko was doing, like the famous one, the like the Ayn Rand superhero.
I haven't actually read it yet. I got it for Christmas. And it's to read pile.
It's great. There's good stuff in there.
What is that? I've never heard of Wit's End.
Did he do Robot Wars and Cracked?
Who? Steve
Ditko? Steve did. Yeah, he did something in Cracked.
Yeah, I think he did like the Robot Wars. That was like their spy versus spy.
Oh, okay. Huh.
I'm looking up.
I think it's him. It's always someone who I like. Whenever I've looked it up, I've been like, "Wait, who does this?" And then it's like, "Oh, I wouldn't have expected that." But it's kind of like that Severin comic I was talking about, where it's like, I don't. Even though he did so many serious comics, it's like I'm conditioned to laugh because I read so much Cracked.
Yeah.
What did Wood say? Wood had a quote. Never. What was it? Never draw what you can trace.
Yeah.
Never trace what you can copy. Never copy what you can't cut up and paste on a board or something. That was like one of his. I don't know.
Man, he would have loved the digital age.
Yeah,
it would have been perfect for him.
Yeah. But it was like what you were talking about, like how he could ape those, like the different comic styles so well.
Yeah.
Like when I saw that quote of his, like I was like, oh shit, is that how he did it? It wasn't like this ultra skilled hand that could just, like some savant could just like copy it perfectly. Like he was like
table's nothing new,
Yeah.
Well, I know, but it was I thought he was,
I think he was still
genius.
pretty talented.
Yeah.
Even if he did some tracing, I think he's still pretty talented.
Hey, what is that? Okay, listen, I tried to Google it. What was that Wits End comic thing you were talking about?
It's a thing that Wally Wood self-published. He decided, I'm sick of being pushed around by comic companies. I'm going to start my own comic book. Like we can just draw whatever we want, write whatever we want, stuff. And he got a bunch of other artists to contribute.
Okay.
That's the
best stuff collection.
Best stuff collection. That's great.
Oh, neat. Wait, I feel like I've seen some stuff from this before.
I'm sure you have. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit like I think of it as like underground comics, but it's all these like really like revered like traditional comic artists.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a lot of like sex and humor and stuff, but it's like Frazetta, Gray Morrow, Steve Ditko, Reed Crandall.
Art Spiegelman's in there too.
Spiegelman's in here.
Shittiest Art Spiegelman comics you've ever seen. It was those weird psychedelic. Like he must have been very young. He must have been like a teenager or something.
Wood drew the Prince Valiant so well that he was asked to draw the actual Sunday comic a number of times.
Wow,
that's pretty funny. Actually, guys, we have an important bulletin is coming in. Something has just happened a mere 4 minutes ago. We have news coming in. It is actually we have a birthday boy in our midst.
It's me. It's
you.
Really? Wow! Noah. Happy birthday!
We just rolled over. Thank you.
Yeah, very good.
How old did you turn? Do you want to say?
Well, I can say I'm finally entering my late 30s.
Okay.
At 39.
Okay.
Finally entering?
Well, it starts at 39. That's a late, Mid is like 35 to 38. Late 30s is 39.
You're being
40.
too generous to yourself, man. You were already late 30s.
Oh, yeah. I'm old.
You have any kids or not? Can't remember.
I have one kid. Yeah, I have a son.
How old is
I didn't want to. I've been drinking this all night. I was worried that like it would be like make you guys feel inadequate, but I am the number one.
My kids said they wanted to buy me that, but the award was already given.
Yeah, they only had number 2 left. Yeah, no, I have one son. He's 2.
2, okay.
Yeah, I'm an old dad.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that the other day. I'm 37. I'm like, oh man, my son when he's a teenager, I want to be so old. Like, why did I wait so long? Oh my god.
I don't know. I don't feel that way at all. I feel like I wouldn't have been able to handle it. I would have been like out of the picture, basically. I mean, I would have been around, but not very good. Now I'm like
I get so
less
tired
selfish.
Hanging out.
I'm tired all the time. Yeah.
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 That
would be the difference.
Yeah.
When I had my first kid, I was like 29, and my dad
Just entering your late 20s.
just just entering my late 20s, and my dad goes, what I told him, I said, hey, we're pregnant. And he was like, when I was your age, I had 3 children. It's like, it's not a race, but all right.
My dad had like 8 kids by the time he was my age, or 9.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was glad to have waited, like I would have waited longer probably, but we kind of had to act. We were running out of time.
There certainly is. There's something to be said about having a more maturity. You might not have the energy, but you have like the wisdom and maturity that you might not have. Oh, look at! Don't worry, you're still young.
I'm also an old soul.
Yeah,
You're a young corpse.
I'm blocking him for that. All right, you don't need to patronize him. Okay.
Yeah, I don't really care. Kyle's birthday is the same as my dog's.
I just started clicking these. Look at dog ears.
Oh my god, I don't know what the math is.
Yeah, there you go. Happy birthday, Nostril Man. Okay, yeah, there you go. Well, happy birthday, and thanks for coming by.
Thanks.
Yeah, listen, I kind of had to take a leak, guys, and I think I'm gonna wrap up the show, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I'm sorry that we kept leaving the subjects. And going
Hey, I think I love having you guys on because I feel like I always walk away with a whole lot of new knowledge, and I enjoy it. I mean, listen, it's not like I prepare for this live stream, all right? I just sort of grab things and then just go through them and talk as things pop into my mind. So, no, thank you guys so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. And yeah, it's a ton of fun.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So
I would just watch from the chat like a sucker.
Yeah. And you'd have to like shout. You'd have to type your corrections rather than just.
Oh my. Yeah, and then like there's a delay, and so then when you read them, you don't know what the context is.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating.
I'm like, what does that mean? Why are you talking about Wally Wood? That's not what I'm looking at. Yeah. Like maybe I do belong on Facebook. I don't know. Oh, when are you doing Mad 24?
I'm assuming that's the next one.
That's the next one. So that would be, I do every other week. So, next week, Kyle, shall we continue our tradition? And you will join me?
Not next week, the following week.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I figured.
We'll be flipping through the new issue. Noah, if your wife leaves you again,
she goes out of town.
Yeah, or not leaves you again, goes out of town.
Yeah.
That's sorry about that.
To become a divorcee live stream.
It's advanced quickly. First, like new dad stuff, how to recognize a choking baby, how to recover after your wife leaves you. We hit all the high notes of the modern American male and Canadian male. Sorry.
Oh well, I mean, it's North America, so
yeah.
American hegemony is such that Canada is pretty captured in that. So
it is. And hey, guys,
there's not that much difference.
If you haven't already, down in the description below, there's links to Noah Van Sciver's channel and to Kyle Bridgett's channel. Go and follow them. It's what is it they say? A rising tide lifts all boats. Okay, so
yeah, and I'm always bad mouthing Patrick on my live stream. So if you really want to get the dirt on Patrick, you got to tune into my stream.
It's probably true because I never watch it.
I know, it's so easy.
You bastard.
Every now and again he tunes in. I'm like, oh, I better talk about something else. Have you seen his new haircut?
Listen, I got a really good compliment at the comic book shop.
Honestly, you look fabulous. I don't throw that word around, but you look great.
I appreciate it. That fills my bucket, man. The guy at the
comic
book shop
don't really match the shirt, but
what does that mean?
I mean, you're wearing weird pants, but like your hair looks good.
How did you know? I am wearing weird pants.
Because you stood up to get something, and I thought, he wasn't planning on standing up.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, All right.
I got to clean up my books.
Yeah, you have to clean up your books. Thank you guys. I'm going to say, I'm going to go for a little while longer. If you guys want to feel the need to like leave, or you can hang out while I say goodbye to everybody. I like to say good night and tuck everybody in. Good night, Angel. Sleep tight. Good night, Sticks. Sleep tight. Good night, Shaney. Sleep tight. And thank you for that thing. Good night, Harvey. Sleep tight. I don't actually do this. Demir, Andre, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming by. I think that I got mostly everybody. Where's the button where I play my video? Christ. Anyway, toodaloo.